Welcome to Attenuation, a weekly podcast where two friends come together to drink beer, discuss beer styles and trends, and just generally ruminate on the meaning of life, aka beer. If you enjoy your time with us, we invite you to become a weekly listener and subscribe to the podcast. Without further ado, here is this week's episode.
Hello, and welcome to episode 49 of Attenuation, a beer podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
Hello.
How's it going, sir?
Wonderful.
You ready to drink some beer and do some talking?
Yeah, glad to be here with you.
Likewise. Okay, today we're going to go over useless beer facts. We'll pick some of our favorites. But before we get into the main topic, as always, we have to do the best part of the podcast for us, and that's drinking beer.
I don't know if they're all useless.
I know, it's kind of weird
piggybacking
off an article, but...
Yeah, good party conversation.
Yeah, there's some fun facts. You could be a very interesting person.
Yeah, we're going to try and make you smarter today.
Yeah, you can share one or two at your next get-together, and everyone will be so impressed. Or they'll think you're weird. Okay, so for drinking beer segment, I introduce my beer, give some nose notes, hand it to Steven to do the same, and then we taste our beers and share our tasting notes. So today I have, this is from the Duck Rabbit Craft Brewery in North Carolina, and they went with a very safe name for this beer. It's just called the Duck Rabbit, which is the brewery, Amber Ale. So you know what you're getting?
Low effort, but...
Yep, it's not a catchy name, but I know what I'm getting. I'm getting an American Amber Ale. And this is 5.5%. Now, generally we drink pretty highly ranked beers on the podcast. Unfortunately, I looked this one up and it's only a 78, but that's okay.
Hey, it's not on the 250 worst beers.
That's right. It's a 78 on Beer Advocate is okay.
Okay.
So we'll give it a taste. We'll give it a smell. Wow, so this one's pouring like a really deep brown, reddish brown. And it has quite a bit of head, a little bit of lacing. It's very I like the smell actually a lot. It's super caramel, super malt, a little bit of yeast, and there's like a tiniest bit of that like barnyard funk. It's a little bit like spice and clove. So it smells good. It's off to a good start. So I'll hand it over to you to see if you can introduce your beer.
I have a beer today that has traveled a long way. This is a pale ale from Hong Kong. It's Young Master Brewing in Hong Kong, China. It's called Neon City. Pale ale brewed with mandarin and bergamot zest. 5.2% in alcohol. IBUs are 35.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
I'm excited because I know like a long time ago we did an article about the growing number of craft brews internationally, and that's really cool that you actually got a beer from Hong Kong. I mean, eventually they're probably already doing it now. They're making some world-class beers, but we just don't have any access to them.
It's true. Apparently I have a little bit of access to them.
Yeah, we have a little bit.
So this is called a Hong Kong Pale Ale. So it should be interesting. Interesting to see. It's very pale. So if you ever see like an English Pale Ale, it's like pretty brown. I mean, it's not brown, but it's pretty malty looking because that was pale for the English.
Yeah.
Kind of who, used to drinking porters and stouts.
Pale ale
was, yeah. This is golden yellow. This looks like, like a lager. Very effervescent head with a big bubbles, but a retaining head staying there for a long time. It's going to hang out there for a while. Oh, wow. Very, very orangey. Yeah, definitely like a cutie, mandarin
nice.
Orange smell with a tiny little bit of spice character, like a hop spice, maybe that bergamot coming through, like some cloves too, some estery cloves. Okay, interesting.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
This is okay. It's like burnt caramel on the entrance, then a little bit of like green apple and a touch of grassy hops. The only thing is it has like a slightly metallic aftertaste. I don't know if this one's just a little bit old. This has been in my fridge for a little while. But it's fine. I mean, it's a thumb sideways. I think I agree with the Beer Advocate rating. It's okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I probably wouldn't pick it again, but I'll drink it.
Is this something you just picked up randomly, or?
So someone got me like a thing where they send you a bunch of craft beers in boxes for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
and this is like one of the last ones I have from that. So yeah, it was a fun gift. It's not like Tavor or anything. You don't pick anything. You just get kind of like random stuff shows up.
Right, they send you a bunch of stuff. Cool.
Yeah. How was yours?
Good. Super interesting. Unlike any other pale ale I've ever had. But this is a Hong Kong pale ale, and I've never had a Hong Kong pale ale. So apparently it's supposed to pair well with Asian flavors and kind of play on both the Chinese and English heritage of Hong Kong. So it's really crisp, light bodied. I mean, this drink's like a lager. It's kind of crazy. But the flavors are this like very subtle orange, which is really nice. It's not too sweet. It's like just perfectly balanced with the maltiness of the beer. I mean, not that it's very malty, but just the balance that they strike between the sweet orange and the malt is good. And then there's also this little like a little bit of earthiness, like spruce, kind of like pine, I guess, just this like kind of earthy, woody flavor. And then a little bit of like spicy pepper too. And then also what's really coming through the end is that like bergamot, that sort of tea, English tea flavors towards the back. And so it's really good. It's very well balanced. It's a really easy, just kind of, I don't know, like a summer beer. I mean, they say all season, it's good for all season drinking, but this would be really good, like daytime, hot weather beer. It's just very crisp, nice, subtle orange flavors. I like it a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely a thumbs up. I need to get this again and pair it with some Chinese food.
Yeah, it sounded really interesting from the way you described it. I would like to get my hands on one.
Very crisp.
It is a thumbs up then?
Yeah.
Awesome. So one thumbs up, one thumb sideways. We prefer the 2 thumbs up days, but that's okay.
You sure you don't want to put the thumbs down?
I feel bad. I don't know. It's fine. Okay, so
I'm all about an amber ale lately, though.
That's the thing is like it's hard to get variety when you like amber ale.
Yeah, I mean nothing's gonna blow you away. I just think it's just a nice general style.
Yeah, I agree. I like Boont amber ale. It's pretty.
Yeah, you gotta get some of that.
Do you guys have that out in Texas?
I probably can get it, like maybe at a Total Wine. I don't know. It's so hard to get Anderson Valley stuff out here.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We get a little bit of it, but they have a new peach version of their Goza.
Ooh, do they really?
Yeah, nothing will ever be as good as Briny Melon.
Nope, doesn't matter what they do. Nothing will ever be as good as Briny Melon.
Even when I drink their cherry Goza, which I think that I should love, it's still not quite as good.
Nope, it's all about Briny Melon. Okay, cool. So next we have postscripts and beer news. Postscripts is when we fix errors in our previous episodes, but I think we're okay this week.
Yeah, I didn't catch anything glaringly wrong.
Or sometimes we make promises that we're going to follow up on things, like Flintstones vitamins.
Yeah. We didn't make any promises either.
Nope, so we're good on both of those fronts. But we do have beer news. Actually, it's not really beer news.
Yeah, I came across this the other day, and it just kind of was interesting to me. So apparently this is a thing. I didn't know this is a thing, but they have barrel-aged coffee beans, which you then turn into coffee, and you get subtle notes of the barrel that you age them in. So one of the articles I found on this was Banyan Coffee. I think they're based in Florida. They make it a point not to sell like flavored coffees.
Okay.
But the line they cross is these barrel-aged beans. So they buy a bourbon, rye, rum, tequila, and wine barrels. And they age their beans in these different barrels. And they get, different flavors in their coffees from the barrels. But they're not adding anything like artificial vanilla or anything like that. So any flavors of vanilla or oak, all that stuff is coming from the barrels. So it's pretty cool.
It is neat. Yeah, I found this one's called Clout Coffee, and they make bourbon barrel-aged beans. So I really want to try one of these. Because I can get my bourbon barrel-aging kick, but in coffee.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says they sit for anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months in the barrels. And they just pick up some of the subtle flavors and flavor your coffee. A little bit of boozy bourbon.
Yeah, this one has a little bit of copy. It says, "It is a smooth whiskey finish with none of the alcohol or hangover of actual whiskey."
There you go. Nice thing to wake up with in the morning.
That's really funny. That's cool. I had no idea they were doing this. It's crazy.
Actually, one of the beer like facts trivia things that I came across getting ready for this episode was that it's legend that bourbon barrel aged stouts came about because they were trying to make beer flavored whiskey. They were doing the reverse, but then they were like,
okay.
but then they ended up thinking, oh yeah, bourbon tasted beer is actually really good.
That's really funny.
So it's just legend, though.
We'll never know if it's true or not. That's how I feel about a lot of these facts. I kind of want some sources on some of these.
Like the word facts itself is a little...
We're going to call these 63 useless craft beer allegations. Isn't that what you're supposed to say if someone allegedly committed a crime?
Yeah.
These are allegedly true.
Yeah, we're not doing enough fact checking to really make sure.
Mm-mm. So...
Too much work.
Maybe if you complain to us, we'll try to postscript some of these. But all right, do you want to get into these facts, Steven?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to learn all I can learn about beer.
All right, let's do it. So you want to take us off with the first fact?
Yes. So the first fact is that in 2010, the world's oldest drinkable beer was found on a Baltic Sea shipwreck, and it was believed to have sailed over 200 years ago.
Ooh,
the oldest drinkable beer. I mean, that is the operative word there.
Who is the brave soul that drank that?
Well, I probably didn't have to look too far.
I'll drink it.
Free beer?
Yeah, free beer. It's 200 years old.
And they drank it, so then they deemed it drinkable.
Yep, that's probably the order.
They drank it and didn't die.
And didn't die or get incredibly sick.
Remember there was that story we did about the diver that was going down and getting like
yeast?
Yeah, he was gathering bottles from shipwrecks and getting the yeast out of them. Pretty cool.
That is awesome.
So yeah, beer was preserved for 200 years. Fun fact. Use that one at your next party.
Yeah, there you go. All right, are we doing these in order, or are we doing
No, we can jump around.
Dealer's choice?
Yeah, whatever you want.
Okay, very good. I like this one. Who knows if this was true? In ancient Egypt, workers living in Giza often received rations of beer 3 times a day as payment.
I believe that. That was like, remember the French saisonniers or whatever, the seasonal workers?
Oh,
got
yeah.
paid in beer. It's been a long-standing tradition to just pay your workers in beer.
I think it's still true of, like, if you work at a brewery. I'm pretty sure, like, when we were at Sierra Nevada on the tour, they said part of their compensation is to get to take home, like, a couple cases of beer a week or a month or whatever, so.
Yeah, I think most of the smaller breweries have a perk like that.
Man, that'd be sweet.
And then, of course, there's the bartenders at Russian River that were slamming back.
Uh-huh. As much Pliny the Younger as they want. Yeah, while they're pouring.
Between serving.
I just realized what I'm going to do when I retire, Steven.
I was like, wait, you can drink on the job?
They're like, not officially.
What are you going to do when you retire?
I always thought I was going to get a job at the movie theater again, because I used to work there. No, imagine just like, you know how, I don't know, I'm going to be bored. Just work there part-time for the perks, because I get to watch as many movies as I want.
Yeah.
But now I'm reconsidering. Maybe I should work part-time at, like, Russian River.
That would be awesome.
I'll be the weird old guy at the bar, and I'll be, like, the part-time bartender that only works on, like, the slow days. And I'll just tell war stories from all my drinking years, and they'll think I'm so weird.
Have you heard of attenuation of your body?
Yeah, I have a podcast with 2,000 episodes. And they're like, okay, old man.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, okay, that's my life goal now.
I'm already considering getting a part-time job at a brewery.
At a brewery? Like right now?
Uh-huh.
Do you have a specific brewery in mind, or?
No, I'm constantly looking at like beer job openings.
Now, would you want to be like in the brewing process?
Well, the problem with that is that like those are all full-time positions.
Okay.
It's hard to just be part-time on those. So more than likely I would just be pouring the beer, which I would, like being a bartender.
Yeah, it'd be fun if you're
a beer tender. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be fun because, obviously not everyone is as interested as me, but every once in a while, like, I get to talk about the beer, and I'd be one of those people, I'd be like the car salesman that knows every single thing about every single model, all the stuff about. So if somebody does want to talk, because every once in a while I try to ask somebody something at a brewery, and they're just like, I don't know.
I just plug, man.
I always want to be like, can I talk to the manager?
Why do you work here?
Can I talk to the head brewer, please? I have questions.
I have questions about your grain bill.
About your grain bill and your beer recipe. They probably don't want to share with me.
They don't want to talk to you either. Yeah. Trade secrets.
But it's on my mind. I might try it out.
All right. Well, that'll be a good segment if you do for the podcast.
I mean, because what do I need more than a second job?
This is your second job, sir.
Okay, so this is. I'll do the next one. This is a good one. Sinosilicophobia is the fear of an empty glass.
That terrifies me.
Sinosilicophobia. You have this?
No.
I feel like it's not a true fear. It's like one of those like joke fears. Like it has a name. People are like, you can use it as like I don't want to run out of beer. I make sure I have beer because I got that sinosilicophobia.
I feel like a lot of phobias are like that. Are they really phobias? I don't know.
Yeah. There's not like a category of people that just like can't stand that their beers.
They like can't see an empty glass.
Yeah. Have like a full on meltdown. Dude, it's okay. I'll fill it up.
Yeah. I don't think it's real, but it sounds cool because you can be like, I always need a full beer.
Yeah. What are phobias you know?
That are like legit?
No, just like, what's the first phobia, the name that comes to your mind?
Claustrophobia.
Oh, okay. But the first one that comes to mind is arachnophobia.
Oh, okay.
Great movie, by the way.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen Arachnophobia?
Mm-mm.
Bro, cult classic.
I'll put it on my wish list. Or to watch list.
Here's a fun fact, not beer related at all. Have you heard of nematodes?
No.
So they're like little parasites.
Okay.
Okay, basically every animal, every living thing on Earth, there is a nematode that can infect that thing. And most of the time a lot of the times it's symbiotic relationships between the nematodes and the living things, but every once in a while it's not. But anyway, there is a nematode that a friend of mine actually studies nematodes, and he discovered a new species of nematode. So they got to name it, and this specific nematode attacks tarantulas.
Really?
Yeah. So when they get an infection, there's like tons of these nematodes. You can see them. There's so many of them, you can see them, and it like looks like white around the mouth of the tarantula, and it makes the tarantula do all these weird things. But they named it like, I don't know, it has some like scientific name, but like it's like something Jeff Daniels or something. So they named it after Jeff Daniels, who was in Arachnophobia.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's a really, really, really good tangent.
Anyway. So, Arachnophobia, Jeff Daniels, nematode. He has a nematode named after him, and he thinks it's pretty cool. So.
No, that's awesome. Okay, now I gotta watch Arachnophobia.
Yeah. Agoraphobia, the fear of like going outside. That's the other one that comes to mind.
That's real.
Yeah, that's real. Arachnophobia is kind of real, too. I don't like spiders.
Yeah. I think it's called thalassophobia. That one I definitely suffer from.
What's that?
It's like the fear of like super deep ocean depths.
Oh. So now we're getting into the weird.
Yeah. Well, I've only ever been exposed to like the deep ones when I was in Hawaii. For whatever reason, I was like snorkeling, and it was just kind of going. And then there's like all these reefs, and then like wherever I was like in a little cove. I got to like where the ocean floor starts to like fall away.
Okay.
And I just remember being like utterly paralyzed with fear, and I was like, that is so scary. Like the ocean is so big and so deep. And I was like, I just turned around and like went back to shore as fast as I could.
Okay, all right, so it's real.
Yeah. Okay, I got a fact off here that I like.
Okay.
And I didn't know this, but Jelly Belly apparently has a jelly bean called draft beer.
Yeah.
I want to try that.
Tastes like Bud Light.
Oh, okay. I don't want to try it anymore. But it's kind of interesting.
It's like a very generic beer flavor, which is fine.
They should make one called IPA.
Yeah, they should make a hoppy one. That would be good.
But I haven't seen that Jelly Belly.
Here's one. This is just good knowledge right here. Yeast can only survive alcohol concentrations up to 18% or around 8%. So that's
interesting.
That's why most beers would be usually less than that. And some yeast strains, most like normal bread yeast strains, can't live above like 8%. So they like create an environment
I was gonna say, can
that they can't live in.
Yeah, can a yeast make a solution so alcoholic that they can no longer live in it?
Yes, that's exactly what happens.
Then they just eradicate themselves.
Yeah,
Amazing.
it's like a fish that lives in a bowl. You know, they pee so much ammonia out that they create a environment that they can't live in. That's why you gotta change the water in the fish bowl.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so they start eating the sugar, and then they create an environment with the byproducts that they can't live in anymore. But so that's why you're going to see most beers, not many beers going up above 15-16% usually.
Okay, so that's that's kind of like the hard limit almost.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one.
Okay.
I think we talked about this before, but apparently there was a huge vat in London in 1814 that spilled 3,500 barrels of beer and created a 1.5 liter flood. Like local to the vat of beer.
Yeah, nice. Hey, if you're gonna flood, that's the way to do it.
And just drowning in beer.
No one died though, did they?
Now that is not represented in this fact. I hope not.
That would be tragic and also beautiful.
That's how Steven wants to go out. Drown in Pliny the Younger. No, drown in...
Yeah, no.
Pliny the Younger? Okay.
It sounds good.
Like, that one works. I was going to say maybe it's pseudo-sue.
Yeah, whatever.
You like one of those two. It's fine.
Okay, I had to go... Oh, this is interesting. So, in this article, one of these says that Germany is So, it says the United States is the second largest hop producer in the world behind Germany. But that's actually not true anymore. I looked it up. The United States is now the largest producer of hops in the world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 48,000 tons of hops every year.
A lot of hops.
Yep.
Now, is most of those in the Pacific Northwest?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy though, huh?
It is pretty nuts to think about. Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought Germany. I wonder where Australia falls on that list, because I know they're growing a lot now too. But,
yeah, some of these might be dated.
But I guess Germany does make sense. I mean, they were like all the noble hops. Like a lot of the original noble hops are from Germany, so.
And those are still used in a lot of stuff. So.
Hops are also poisonous to pets.
Ooh, that's good to know.
So if you're a home brewer, don't let your dog or cat eat your hop pellets.
I bet your dog would definitely go for them. Cat probably not so much.
I don't know. My cat would probably eat them. My dog's not food motivated.
Oh, okay.
At all.
My dog would eat anything.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Not my dog. I tried to train my dog, and like he would get sick of like whatever I brought for him to use while I was training. Like you can't just buy treats at the store. He doesn't like those. And
really?
So you have to bring like canned chicken or cheese, but still like whatever you give him, he gets sick of it. Like a brand new puppy or something would just like keep eating it over and like would want to please you. He was like, meh. He would do it a few times. And then that treat wouldn't even work, and you had to switch treats. So in the training session, in like an hour training session, I'd have to switch to like 6 different treats.
Gee,
yeah.
Your dog is high maintenance.
I know.
What about his regular food? Does he just eat that?
No, he just eats regular dog food, yeah.
But for
I mean, he gets like some stuff from the table sometimes, but
okay.
Yeah, so he'll eat that stuff, but he's not food motivated. He's cuddle motivated. He's like
Aww.
He's like good boy motivated. Like he just wants you to love him and say how good he was.
Really? See, this is the first I knew that dogs have love languages, just like people.
Yeah. He's like, food, meh.
But praise.
Praise and scratches. Yeah.
There you go. That's good to know.
He's like a people pleaser. He doesn't want to disappoint.
He just wants you to be happy. That's a good dog to have. Yeah, my dog would eat anything and everything he could get his hands on. So he would definitely eat hot pellets. He ate my wife's. She had some like crazy salad. I don't remember what it was, but it had raisins in it. And he scarfed it down because she left the room for like a second.
Oh my gosh.
And raisins are actually toxic to dogs, and he ate a lot of raisins. So
oh man.
We had to get his stomach pumped on that one.
Oh no.
And on the way, walking him from the hospital, you'd think he would be sick or something like that,
Yeah.
Because they just had to do that to him. He's like randomly trying to eat some random thing he saw on the sidewalk. And we're like, dude, we don't have to take you right back in there. Come on now. Settle down.
I had a friend whose basset hound would eat rocks.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like big rocks.
And that wasn't a problem? Like
Oh,
pouncing?
no, it was, yeah. They did, like, surgically removed it multiple times, and then they were like, okay, they finally were like, if this happens again, let's just let it pass. Like, just force him to pass it. I'm like, oh, man, that's brutal.
Well, that dog is stupid.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
It's amazing. Eating rocks. Okay, my dog's not that bad. He doesn't try to eat a rock. Okay, I have one.
What else you
I
got?
like this one. Slugs and snails love beer. So if you're looking to rid your garden of these pests, put some beer in a shallow container at night. And apparently they'll all climb in and drink it and probably die.
Slug snail trap.
I'll give them this duck rabbit amber ale.
That one. Is that all it's good for, Jason? Is a slug trap?
No, I'm just saying, if I had
I have like half of this left.
Yeah, if I had to trap
got
some
slugs
snails
in my yard.
today, and these are the beers available to me, this would be the beer I would use.
I think that counts as a thumbs down. So I'll tell you a good story. So some of these facts I kind of grouped into like other useful like other uses for beer.
Oh,
Right?
okay, yeah.
So yeah, one of them I had was the slug snail trap. The other, you can use beer to shine old copper. You have some old rusty copper coins. Put them in some beer. Put them in your duck rabbit amber ale. Shine
That's
them
pretty
up.
cool.
Hair conditioner. If you need to condition your hair, you can use beer.
Wait, really?
Yeah, apparently, I don't know. This is off the list.
Allegedly.
You can use beer as a marinade, of course.
That one's true.
Yeah, soften the meat. And then beer is also a good fertilizer. So I used to make this spray for my grass and got one of those like hose sprayer attachment things that you can like fill with something. And I used to make a concoction out of beer, soda. So you pour I would just like always have cheap beer on hand. Usually the cheapest beer I would usually have on hand was Heineken. So I pour a Heineken in there, and then a Pepsi, and then ammonia,
Okay.
dish soap, and there's something else. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, I made this like weird concoction out of beer and Pepsi, and I'd spray on my grass. It's really good for your grass.
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
You had really nice grass, I remember, at your old place.
Yeah.
And I asked you what you did.
Yeah, beer fertilizer.
Heineken.
Yeah, or duck rabbit amber would work too.
Okay. I'll go pour this. I'll go put it in. I do have one of those sprayers that like I'll go hook up my grass.
Oh my gosh. I gotta remember everything I put in there. I'll have to look up that recipe.
I need that recipe.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Dish soap, that's the surfactant.
Okay.
Keeps the fertilizer on the blades of the grass for longer.
Ah, that's some good knowledge.
Yeah. If you ever want to make weed killer work better too, you can use put a little dish soap in there too as a surfactant. It keeps it on the leaves of the weeds longer.
Oh, that's good to know. I didn't know that.
You're welcome.
Now I can kill my weeds with extra efficiency.
So those are some other uses for beer, in case you have some beer that you don't want to drink.
There, you have a lot of options.
Like, you've listened to the podcast and you want to move on from the macro styles, but you think, but I have all this beer in my fridge. Do I need to drink it? No.
Just put it in your hair.
Yeah. Wash your hair with it for a few weeks.
See, I feel like the downside of using beer to condition your hair is you might smell like
Yeah, it might smell like beer.
beer all the time.
Sounds good to me.
I guess
I would like a beer air freshener for my truck.
Really?
Yeah. When I was at New Belgium in Fort Collins, the smell there was like the greatest smell ever. It was that like malty wort smell. It was so good. I would love to smell that every time I got in my truck.
Wouldn't make you want to drink a beer like immediately when you got home?
I mean, it probably would, but it's not a bad thing. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make that and sell that.
Let's do a Kickstarter.
It's my $1 million idea.
Oh, you just put it out into the world.
No one listens to this podcast.
Dave, one of our few listeners.
All right, you got another fact you want to share with the world?
Yes, it says everyone knows it, but few people are willing to admit it. Craft beer can cause a considerable amount of flatulence.
Oh.
And I know this is especially true if you drink too many sour beers.
Yeah, kind of messes with the
number.
microbiome.
Yeah, it'll do a number on you.
That's a good one. That's
Is it a
definitely
good?
a good conversation starter for parties.
Didn't you know this is gonna make you fart?
Drink up.
I liked. There's another one that said in the 1600s, midwives created super strong beer to ease the pain of labor.
That's good for the baby.
Well, the baby's almost on its way out.
Yeah.
The beer goes in, the baby comes out.
Yeah, I like that. We should have tried that. Okay, so this is a good one. This is like my dream, and I share this vision with the Vikings. So they believed that when they died, a giant goat would be waiting for them, and of course, this goat's udders had an unending supply of beer.
Ooh, nice.
I have questions though. I mean, were they having to drink straight from the udders?
Do think it's put in a glass?
Or were they just milking the goat, but beer came out instead of milk, and they could like store it and drink it?
Yeah, if you had to drink out of the udder, well, you couldn't. First of all, you wouldn't get any of the nose notes. So already half my satisfaction is gone.
Well, I mean, too, it depends like what type of beer is coming out. Like, is it like a tap room? Like each
udder is a different
is
thing.
labeled. Yeah.
I mean, that idea.
This is my heaven. This is my idea of heaven. I can make it however I want, I guess. Which is kind of weird that they would want it to be a giant goat.
They probably didn't have. They didn't have like a lot of taps. Probably.
Well, but it could just be a room full of beer.
That's true, or like a river of beer.
Yeah, like it didn't need to be a goat.
They just liked goats.
Yeah, maybe goats were important.
There you go.
They just like looked around what was in their general area and then added beer to that.
There's gonna be that, but beer.
There's gonna be that, but yeah, beer's gonna come out of it. That's heaven. That's heaven. I was just saying at work today that I always thought like a Viking send off would be a good way to get rid of my body after I die.
Now, is that the one where they put you in the boat and then hit it with the flaming arrows?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Somebody have to be a good shot, though.
I always thought about that.
Like, what if you miss? You're like, bro.
It'd be so embarrassing. It'd ruin your whole funeral.
They never miss in the movies, though.
Yeah, it's the movies, though.
I mean, you never know. Like, you could get it out in the water, and there's like a rough current. You're like zigzagging.
The boat capsizes before it can burn.
There's a lot of things that could go wrong.
If you die before me, I'll help you do a Viking send off. But I'll put like a C4. Actually, that's illegal to have, huh? Okay, never mind.
I don't know.
I'll put a stick of dynamite in there.
Just put some sort of fire starter.
Yes, I'll make sure that thing's gonna burn.
Like the arrow miss, but like all isn't it like bursts into flames anyway.
It'll be like a bad budget movie. The arrow misses by like 100 yards, but then all of a sudden the boat just ignites.
Like it's just a backup plan,
Yeah, remote start.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
All right, Viking send off it is.
To my heaven with the goat.
Yep, you're off to the goat. I'll say he's on his way to see the goat. And everyone will be like, what? Like the goat. The beer goat.
It's going to be the best funeral ever.
And I'll make sure it's catered by like every brewery. Yeah. So I wonder if this one is still true. It says Belgium has the most individual brands of beer found in any country. There's 400 different brands.
But there are like 8,000 breweries in the United States.
Yeah, I think U.S. might have surpassed them on that one.
Has the most individual brands of beer. Yeah, I don't know. That seems weird.
The wording is a bit interesting. Individual brands of beer.
Oh, I missed this one earlier. The Babylonians were one of the first cultures to start brewing beer to keep the quality of the commercial beer. A law was passed that if your beer was seen as unfit or inferior, you were sentenced to drown in it.
Oh my goodness.
Man, that's harsh.
It's really harsh.
Yeah, like you want to drown in some good beer, not bad beer.
They take their beer very seriously.
I love this one, number 61. Craft brewers use adjuncts to enhance flavor, while mega brewers add adjuncts to reduce flavor.
It's actually sort of true.
That's true.
It's like why Budweiser uses rice, right?
Yeah, they use
that's not an adjunct. But...
And sugar. They use sugar adjunct.
Okay, yeah.
To mellow out the body.
That's a pretty sick burn.
Oh my gosh. Did you watch Kings of Beer? Did you watch
I
it?
haven't watched it yet.
Oh, okay. I finished it. It's really good.
Would you recommend it?
Totally. It's
Okay.
fascinating. It's the most
Yeah.
fascinating thing because it's like, I don't know. It's just it like makes me laugh how dedicated they are to making like
Budweiser.
what they think is the best American lager. And I'm like, I mean, I guess. I don't know. And they're just like, I don't know. I mean, they're very passionate about the lagers they're brewing, and they're passionate, and like they're tasting it. I mean, they're legitimately tasting these beers. I'm like, I hope they're tasting those cold
Why?
because they warm up a little. It's pretty gnarly. You ever had a warm Budweiser? It's bad.
Oh man, that is so funny. That it does make a good documentary though. I like when there's like a subculture related to something.
Mm-hmm.
There's one of my other things is I'm into watches, and there's a brand called Invicta that like a lot of people think is like they're hideous. They're very
Right. Yeah.
big.
Totally.
They're large and they're like very dynamic colors, and but they have a cruise every year. It probably got suspended for COVID, but I'm sure it'll be running again. Where it's like a cruise, and everyone that goes on it is like super into the brand. So like even though it's kind of
That's
like
awesome.
yeah, it's cool because like a lot of people think the brand is stupid, but then there's this like cult following that thinks it's like the greatest thing ever, and they go on a cruise and they're all just hanging out with their homies that all love the same brand. It's kind of feel about all those brewers that take brewing Budweiser like deadly serious. Like
Yeah.
to them, it is the best American beer, and they're dedicated to it. So that's cool. Respect.
Yeah, it's funny. They, they had the big celebration where they
like
announced the winner. Yeah, they crowned the winner of the Budweiser Cup. It was funny because it's like this big party, and they're all drinking beer. But I assume there's just one thing on tap.
I'm just drinking Budweiser. Yeah.
Like Bud Light, maybe. Maybe those are the two options.
I gotta watch that now. It sounds fascinating.
Yeah, no, it is really good.
I also want to hunt those people down and bring them like what is the beer we had in Seattle that we really liked?
Oh yeah, like just the Fremont lager, or
just a Fremont
or the
lager.
dry hopped. Yeah,
Not even the dry hopped one. Just
Yeah.
just their lager. What was it called?
I don't know.
I don't remember, but just be like, try this though.
I mean, I assume they've had craft beer too, like other craft. I assume
They're like, it's inferior.
Yeah, I don't know. They just love that style and they love brewing it. So
There you go. I'll definitely check that out.
yeah, it's good. It's worth it.
Okay, let's see. I have a couple more. Craft beer is good for your bones. Beer has high levels of silicon, which promotes strong bones.
I'll drink more of it then, I guess.
Yeah, that's a rationalization fact.
Well, hops in general are good for you.
Well, there you go.
So-
Two reasons to drink beer.
They're anti-inflammatory. They're good. So drink beer. Drink more beer. It's a key to a long life.
This one is true, and this is why remember the patron saint of beer, Saint Arnold.
Yeah.
It says in medieval Europe, the average person drank 220 to 250 liters of beer a year. As it had underground fermentation, it was cleaner and safer to drink than water.
Nice.
That's your paradise right there.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
only drink beer.
That's what I still do.
You don't drink any water, you just drink beer?
No, I figure the beer is probably cleaner.
I think water's pretty clean where you live.
I always say I really like my water with Red Bull in it.
Wait, why?
Because like people always tell me like, you should drink more water. You should drink more water. I'm like, yeah,
Oh.
I do. I really like my water with some Red Bull in it.
Just like Red Bull. Yeah.
It's got water in it.
It's true, it does have water in it. This one is an interesting fact. I don't know if it's true. It says in 1850, Louis Pasteur studied beer. After finding it was alive, he invented pasteurization.
Yeah, we talked about that, I think, at one point.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
Remember when we talked about yeast? Yeah, he was like one of the first to discover like bacterial infections, and he differentiated what flavors yeast made and what flavors bacteria made in the yeast or in the beer. Because somebody I think a brewer brought him samples of sour beer.
Oh, okay.
And was like, why are these sour? Why does it keep souring?
Yeah, what's wrong with my beer?
Like, bro, you got bacteria in here.
It's when they learned they got to create conditions that let the yeast out compete.
Unless you want your beer to be sour.
Yes, but I have a feeling those sour beers were not. The ones that want it to be sour.
Not a good sour. Yeah.
Yeah. I like this one. I don't know if it's true, but it sounds right. Storing bottled beer upright minimizes oxidation and contamination from the cap.
Yeah. I think in general, there's less surface area hitting the air than and then if the bottle is sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wine you store sideways because do you want the cork to be touching the wine?
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, they're just all.
We got to do. Next week we're gonna do the how to cellar beer. Yeah. And
then
so stay tuned.
So postscript for this episode.
We'll do a whole episode, which would be a postscript for us promising to tell you how to sell our beers.
Yeah, if you should be upright or not.
The only one I have cellaring right now is upright.
Mine are too, just because they're. I don't know. It'd be too much of a pain to lay them on their side, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other facts on this list you want to share?
Oh, I was looking at the word hangover in different languages and like what it means. So it's pretty interesting, like in like different Nordic languages. Like in Danish, hangover kind of translates to carpenters in your head. Like someone hammering in your head.
You're doing construction, inside you. That's pretty good.
In Denmark, if you drink a beer when you're hungover, it's called a reparationsbier, which translates to repair beer.
Yep.
There's another word they use called fuelangst, which is the drunk anxiety. That is the unsettling feeling one has the day after drinking when you can't remember what you did or how you acted.
Ooh, time traveling. That's what I called it. I haven't done that since college.
Yeah, I don't have very many of those.
Yeah, that's not fun.
The Old Norse Viking word for hangover was kvis, which meant uneasiness after debauchery.
Oh, jeez.
I feel a little uneasy after all that debauchery. And bogstiv is the Danish word for when you wake up the next morning and you're still drunk. It literally translates to backwards drunk.
Yeah, I'd have to go back to college for one of those nights, but that is not a good feeling.
And a Danish person who is drunk might say that they have a stick in their ear.
Huh. I never had ear pain, but...
Yeah, not sure what that means. I guess if your head hurts, feels like you have a sticking inside your head or something. I don't know.
That makes sense.
So, there you go.
All the words for hangovers.
Yep. Uneasiness after debauchery. Like when Jason tries to go to work after drinking a 14% stout on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, well, no, I don't. I remember. Just not lazy, but lethargic. Yeah. It's hard to focus sometimes. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, Steven.
Yeah, me neither.
Can't drink those 14% beers and get away with it. Well, I can, but I pay a small price is what happens.
Yeah, always.
I should call it the barrel-aged price or something.
Just that deal you make, with your body.
But it's worth it. Oh, well, I guess it's
it's worth it.
It's fun in the moment, and then the next day,
yeah.
Why did I drink that? But we gotta live closer so we can split them. That's the problem. I was drinking the whole bottle.
Yes, yeah. It's nice to share. Nice to be able to share those with some other people.
Yeah, those are recommended for sharing. Okay, cool. Well, do we have any other useless beer facts?
I mean, there's probably so many more, but we'll save some for another episode.
Okay, well, if you have any good useless beer facts, you can email them to us at contact.attenuation@gmail.com, or you can direct message us, slide into my DMs. Yeah, direct message us. Attenuation.podcast on Instagram.
Yeah, slide into our DMs.
With some useless beer facts.
Yeah, or just tell us what you're drinking.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. I want to know what you're drinking, because I want to hear about other people's beers. So.
Yeah, and tell us what your favorite beer is, and maybe we'll try one of those.
I'm stepping up my beer meme game on Instagram, by the way.
I saw.
Yeah. I'm making memes.
I'm going to help you.
Okay.
See, photography is not my strong suit, but maybe I can meme.
Yeah, I've made some mean memes in my life.
You're a meme.
There's like so many times when something happens in real life, and I'm like, I have the perfect meme for that. And I'll try to tell somebody, and they're like, what are you talking about?
Feels bad, man.
I'm like, you don't Reddit, do you?
They don't look too much at the internet, yeah. Or like that part of the internet. Yeah, I saw your stop drinking over for your sour beers or draw 25. It's the guy with like 1 million Uno cards.
Yep, the Uno card meme is the best.
That's a good one. All right, we're going to step up the meme game. Well, this has been episode 49 of Attenuation, a beer podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
That's me.
And we are saying cheers, and we will see you next week for, are you ready for it, Steven? Episode 50.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
That's a lot.
We just keep hitting milestones.
Milestone after milestone.
Just keep recording.
All right, we'll see y'all then.
All right, cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Attenuation, a beer podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and follow us on Instagram or Facebook for more fun content. Catch you next week. Cheers!